Hello, bonjour, savant. How are we today? It is Tuesday, February the 4th, 2025, here in southwestern Ontario, Canada, by the frozen shores of Lake Huron. It's nighttime right now, coming on uh, after dark. I was asking if there's anything new and interesting to pass along to you. And I was getting some information about future events. Nothing concrete as usual. A little bit of nebulous talk, as I'm going to call it. I kind of get the feel of it, but trying to translate that into English is another story. But anyway, we will begin and we'll see where this message leads us. So, just to go over energetically the planetary significances of thought, which means the planets are different planets, their energies have been shifting. So, the new moon happened on the 29th last month in Aquarius. That is total beginning of Aquarian energy. There's now no Capricorn influence whatsoever as of that date. Before there was still a little bit of dribs and drabs from Capricorn, but no longer. Capricorn was the past. Capricorn was government and tradition and institutions and control and dominance and all that stuff. Aquarius is the opposite. It's open-mindedness, it's freedom, it's radical changes, things that shift and move and change, and you never know 1 minute from the next what's going to happen. So the opposite of control. It's freedom, yeah. Following day, like right up until today, we've had all kinds of other planetary shifts. Uranus is now direct. Jupiter is now direct. Mars is going to go direct on the 23rd of February. Mars is the planet of action. Mars gives us that energy and the impetus to make things happen. You know, that wonderful divine masculine energy that we love so much. So now we're going to see a lot more forward movement on your world and on your planet as a result of all these combinations of the external planets coming into alignment, and also I'm hearing like redefinement. So people are going to start to redefine their world. What do we want now? What shall we look to in the future? There's going to be a lot more combinations of thoughts from different people, different groups, who want to steer the planet in a particular way. There's going to be a lot more about this that we will say, but we're going to keep that for another day. Okay. So I was being shown earlier, just before I came on, the explanation of the energies of the planets, because normally we would call that astrology. Well, it's combined with astronomy, but it's reading that energy of each one and then how they interact with each other. So just like, and then I was shown our political leaders on the planet. So the American president does one thing that shifts what the Canadian prime minister will do, and the Mexican leader, and the European, and the Chinese, and so on and so on and so on. So it's all an interplay. Whatever this person or that person, and each one of these political figures has their own energy signature. They have their own frequency, in other words. And you know, the American president on his own may just be a certain way, but the minute he is interacting with the other leaders on your world, things start changing, don't they? There's a lot of momentum, there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of things that change. There are a lot of plans that are made, and it's like that with our planets. all the different planets have their own different little personalities. And when they are affecting each other, sometimes they're closer, sometimes they're further away, then all these different, what the astrologers would call aspects from one planet to another, or the sun or the moon or the nodes or whatever, you'll have to do your research on that. Certain things happen on your world. So Uranus in Taurus, like Uranus is like, whoa, shocking events, the Tower card in tarot. We thought everything was going this way and now it's going that way. So when Uranus, the shocking disruptor, the awakener, is affecting Taurus, which is our money, it's security, it's very solid and earthy, like Taurus, the sign is, then you have upsets in the financial system. Okay, so this is what we're talking about here. There is a lot more to understand if you can relate to this information. Personally, 3D Me, I've been following it since I was a child, and I know I have, it's just easy for me to understand it. Let's put it that way. I'm not an astrologer in this lifetime, but I do always look at what the spiritual astrologers are saying first, more than anything else. That's my go-to. That's what I look at first, to understand what is going on and what will be going on in the future. It's a very good indicator. As I've said numerous times, I really like Molly McCord. You can follow her. I like the Leo King. I know he's a little different. Find somebody you like, but who gives you that spiritual connection, not just A, B, C, D, E, F, G. This is what I learned out of a book. Okay, you have to have the spiritual understanding behind that. In other words, the astrologer needs to be consciously aware and awake to be able to give you the real depth of the information. So that's what I have been given to pass along to you as for information. You just have a better grounding, a firmer stance. There's more security, understanding. You get it. And it takes the fear out of unknown situations. But from now on, everything's going to be unknown. Okay, we're not in Capricorn time period. We're not in the age of Pisces. It's not that way anymore. That's done and gone. So you're going to have to lift your consciousness, awareness up so that you can read between the lines, right? And it's not whatever you're given to think about or to be brainwashed with. You actually have to figure this out for yourself. This is your growing, maturing stage now, coming into your mastery. You're no longer a child that needs to be led by the hand and be told, okay, think this way, do that, follow this group and do what they tell you to do. Follow what your church says, follow what your government says, follow whatever your educational system says. It's not going to work like that anymore. We've been saying this for quite some time now. Now you're seeing the cracks appearing. You're seeing the breakdown. You're seeing the destruction of the old system, the old ways of being happening all around you. That's what you're seeing. So when you can step back and detach and see that this is exactly on plan according to sources, plan, I'll use that word again, that source's plan for our ascension path, all the old dark lower energies have to drop away. They have to be. It's just what happens. You're rising up in frequency. We're ascending. Right? Anything that's dark falls away. Old systems, old control systems, old mind games. If you are still participating in mind games, you're on the old downward path. Got to give it up. May seem comfortable, but you got to give it up. There's no way going back anymore. It's done. Done deal. So some of these changes that I have been hearing about from my team as I was, in meditation the last few days, it's like they're showing me things 20 years in the future, what's going to happen. So it's all good. Yes, it's going to be a little rocky getting through the next little while because we're still in breakdown mode. We've got some leaders coming on board. Some of them are starting to get it, wisen up, as you like to say. And some of them will just automatically drop away because they're not on board and they refuse to cooperate with the higher ways of being. Everybody's choice, okay? You get a choice. This is the way it is. You're on board or not. Okay, there's no coddling, there's no hand holding. There's no, oh, dare, you poor little thing. It's move forward or move out of the way. So it's very definite now. Are you on board or not? I keep hearing that saying over and over and over again. You can't be wishy-washy, you can't straddle the fence. Years ago, we said, you're straddling the fence, you got 1 foot in 3D and 1 in 5D. We can't do that anymore. That's long gone. We're in 5D. We're pulling towards 6. The template is showing up to 10. All right? There is no space, there's no place for anything less than 5. So some of these top leaders of yours on your world and on your planet right now are going to be in resistance to the higher light. There are others who will actually see it, get it, understand it, roll with it, function with it, do it. And they will get the ascension path work done. It's for us to see these beings who are in power or who are about to be in power. One way or another, it's happening. So again, you see certain things happening. Try to detach your emotions from it. Leave it in Source's hands. Source knows what it's doing. I'm seeing a picture as to how to explain this, hopefully a little bit better with a concrete example. I don't even know if you can remember this. It was a while back, can't remember what year. It's not that long ago. And only some of you are going to understand this, and to others it probably won't make sense. But they're in the Ukraine, in a certain location. Sorry, that's my dishwasher just stopping right now. It will stop beeping now. And there was a spaceship underneath in the Ukraine area, and there were humans who were wanting to work with that. And when I found out about this, that these different humans who discovered this found out about this ship, and they were going in and they were checking things out. And of course, this ship is like biological, so it's kind of sort of alive. And the beings who drive the ship or captain the ship or however steer the ship, whatever word is used, I don't know what they use, but their DNA has to match the DNA of the ship for you to be able to operate it. Anyway, when I found out about that, I was curious, so I looked into it and I tuned into that frequency of thought. And part of that ship was, like a human would say, damaged, but I felt it as it was hurt. So were there parts of it that was hurt, just like your body, can be injured or hurt. So there was an injury there. And when I tuned into it and I felt it, I felt the pain and I felt very upset about it. And I was trying to send some healing energy to it. And I was very emotional about it. And it was interesting because as I was trying to work on doing some energy healing, there were beings there. I don't think they're human, the other beings. Maybe it was their ship. I don't know. But they were sort of telling me that, this is our business. We're going to take care of it. Don't worry about it. Butt out. What? Like what? Like I had my feelings hurt there for a moment. But I'm trying to help. Now, thank you, but no thanks. Like butt out. So, of course, I respected that request or that command or statement or whatever. It's kind of like, well, I don't like that. I'd like to continue, but just kept getting the same message, like butt out. Thought, okay, we can't go around saving everybody and everything when we're not wanted, and it's not requested of us. So I have a motto that I don't go where I'm not wanted. It's just kind of safer for everybody that way. That's just my opinion. That's my 3D opinion. So it's kind of sort of like that. That's the best picture I can give to you. Hoping that makes sense. So spirit is, and they're adding this to the message. The spirit is always above board with you. It's always truthful. Whether you like it or not, whether it hurts your little feelings or not, spirit is truth. They're not the ones to look out for. The ones who lie to you and try to manipulate you and try to make you feel all better are the ones who are the dangerous ones that you need to look out for. Is there anything else? No, the story will be moving on later. We'll catch you later. Yeah. Okay, I'm not hearing anything else. Just a short, quick little message there. I hope that helps. Every day's a new day, right? Something new is happening. But we're still, step by step, working our way up the ladder of the ascension path, the frequency, rising. And it's a glorious thing. So the only advice I'm hearing now from my team to say is like, find out who your spirit team is. Find out who the masters are whom you work with. I think the very first one, and those of you who know me know this already about me, but when I first started out on this path that spirit kind of picked me up and plopped me down on, the first, and it's always Jesus, of course, that's always my first connection. But from there, I had to learn who the masters were, and I heard Kuan Yin, saw her color frequency. It's gorgeous. There's no color on earth like her shades. They're gorgeous. So she came in and she helped me along the first part of my journey, and then there was Buddha and others. So they're saying, my team is saying to you, find out who your master team is, whom you work with. Maybe it's unbeknownst to you, but it's time to figure this out. So search for more information about the masters, how you can come into mastery. I know I've had a lot of past training, as we all have when we come here. We need that background. to just even survive this planet. And there were just certain, like, priesthood that I was part of, the Mu priesthood I was part of. I was in Atlantis, of course, doing the crystal healing beds. Lemuria, yeah, it was the Mu. So anyway, that's just a very quick, short example of what we're talking about here. So, spirit advice. Discover who your masters are, your master team, who are helping you to gain mastery, right? These are beings who are very high frequencies of light. And they're wonderful beings. And each one, just like we talked about, each planet has their own little personality, frequency, and all the leaders, each one of us has our own little special frequency or personality. It's just the same with the masters. They each are a master of certain elements of light. And when you're in training in certain areas, these masters step up to the plate, in other words, to help guide you. So listen to them. Just make sure you know who you're listening to. Right? This is why you meditate every day, go out in nature every day if you can. I did actually go out on those icy roads, and I'll tell you, it was a scary event this afternoon. I was just glad I made it home without falling. So all these beings are here to help you remember who you are, hold your connections high to the light, and help you gain back those memory codes so you can remember all your own guidance and mastery yourself. That's what it's all about. So they are our spiritual teachers, and they're wonderful beings. But again, make sure you're doing your work. It's a lot of work. As your body changes, because as you change spiritually and your frequency comes up, your body changes. Your food demands, your water demands, all of that, the amount of exercise you do, certain stimulation, like you got to stop watching the news, or you have to, whatever it is that is irritating to the spirit, and you have to stop those behaviors. And that's what holds back a lot of people from connecting with their higher light. So as the spiritual bodies change, your physical body has to change too. And that means you change your eating habits. You change your sleeping habits. You feel the body changing. I tell you, in this last year, my body's been going through such really radical changes. It's scary even at times, because it's like it's not operating correctly. Like, this body didn't used to do this. What's going on? Once it makes the shift, then you're okay again. So there's all kinds of things involved in this. It's not just one thing, and it takes a lot of work. Okay. Now, is that it now? Yep. Yes. Alrighty then. We covered it. The topics we were supposed to cover today. All right. Okay, so if you want to book an appointment with us, you can go to the website, www.healingourenergy.ca, and book your appointment there. Blessings, everyone. This is a wild ride. It's going to get a little bit wilder before it calms down. So take care of yourselves and others on this journey of our higher light, and we shall speak again. Bye for now.